you improved your microphone. Hold on a second here. I just got to turn you down a bit.
Yeah.
Woo!
You just cranked me up, hoping you could hear me last time, wasn't it?
Well, no, it's just so clear now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, we've got some new technology here, so
Look at you go.
yeah, we're upgrading. Dustin,
Love that.
Talk about ups, I guess, to start.
That right there. I've been waiting for that for so long. And it's amazing what happens when you play a balanced lineup and guys are playing their strong side. They know naturally where to go. That was a great period of hockey. Yeah, we gave up a goal off of a rush, but like we should be showing that Ehlers goal to our top six on repeat every day. That's how we need to score. And then lo and behold, the last goal of the period is a goal off the rush with just quick going straight towards the net, a couple of quick passes, getting behind the defense, and bang, it's in the back of the net. Like I I've been saying it, Besser should be stapled to Petey. The right-handed and left-handed should be balanced through the lineup, and we have that tonight. Carlson doing a really good job playing that fourth line grinder role.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what he's doing in Abbotsford. He gets like all his goals. If you look at his career goals, all of them are from like in front of the net where he's been going to all night, creating a ruckus. That goal that Ehlers got, like if that gets through Carlson's feet instead of hitting his feet and coming back quickly the other way, I mean, that might not even turn into a goal for Winnipeg. That's just how quickly Winnipeg can strike, though. They use their speed, push both the defense back, and then Ehlers cuts across to the middle and has a wide open shot with both the defenders being pushed back. Like that's something we've wanted the Canucks to be doing for a while, and Höglander had been showing signs of doing that, but you can't be the only one. And then the power play had been struggling because of the weird deployment of players, and now put Besser back in a bumper spot because you have Lekkerimäki in a shooter spot on the right side. And look at what happens when you have a bumper spot. You take away that negative space in the middle that they've like just left wide open. Put a guy in there and you can create more plays. Like that power play looked really good. And it generated a goal because like they were moving it around and getting good looks. And then they had another tip where DeBrusque put it just over the net there and then went and found their play again, and Besser puts it in. 2 points for Besser, who's been struggling. It's good to see him back up in a top six position, like up on the top line, which is where if you think this guy should be capable of scoring 40 goals, should he not be on your top line? Like that's why it didn't make sense to me to bury him on the third line. Just really, really good stuff. The O'Connor goal was a really good goal off the rush again, like stuff we haven't seen for a while from these Canucks.
Well, I was going to say actually the Winnipeg goal. I feel like they were watching that O'Connor goal because on that play we had Bluger driving the net, which created that space there for O'Connor, and so it was it was one of those like I can see what you do, I'll do the same thing sort of thing, and Bluger doing exactly what he's been preached by the team, driving the net, bringing that defenseman with you, giving that space for Drew O'Connor, and bam, it's in the back of the net.
Yeah, and the other thing too is it shows how much easier it is for our forwards to win puck battles on their strong side.
Yeah.
Something that we were really struggling to do against Utah, like speed aside, when you're not used to playing, you're offside and you're trying to win a puck battle on the boards and you're on your backhand instead of your forehand, it can be a big difference.
Well, it's a double whammy, right? Because not only are you on your offhand, but they're also playing their fourth game in 6 nights. So you're exhausted. So you're literally trying to just physically do the same thing. But then it's like, then you actually have to think about it. So you got double whammy against you, which is why I still can't believe they put Besser on left wing. Like that was insane.
Yeah, like that made absolutely no sense to me. Thank goodness we got away from that. I'd love to see this lineup stuck to for the remainder of the season. Like, you can't keep going to a different lineup. Like, you got to stick to a lineup sooner or later. And if we stick to this, for the rest of the games, then at least you know what you got. And if you make the playoffs, great, because this lineup clearly has worked well enough to get you to that point. If you don't, then you know exactly where your holes are. But when you keep bouncing everything around, it's really difficult to see where the actual deficiencies are in the lineup. I also liked the move of splitting up Hughes and Hronik. That seemed to be a last minute thing today because I believe Hughes and Hronik did morning skate together, and then they come out and it just must have been a feeling that
even
they
the
needed
warm
to be
up,
on different lines.
they had them together in warm up. Like that's how last minute it was. I was like, because that's the thing. I sit here and I wait because Brendan Batchelor is really good. He'll always tweet as soon as and that's the thing is lately with the Canucks lineup, the blender that we have, I seriously sit here and wait for Brendan Batchelor's tweet. And then I'm just madly like typing in, changing pictures to make sure I got the graphic ready to go. And then today I'm like, okay, I'm good. You know, I'm chilling. And then first shift, I'm like, what is happening?
So, but I actually like that, because it gives us a little more balance throughout the lineup. Like it just looked like a really well-balanced team in that first period, able to match up to Winnipeg. We'll have to see if we can keep it going, but if we keep playing that 20 minutes, if we can do that 3 times tonight, we're going to win this game. Even if Hellebuck keeps making ridiculous saves out of his bum with the like tiny 2-inch heel of his stick.
Yeah. I think Lekkerimäki had his head down a little bit there too. So obviously he was trying to just control the puck. But I mean, a little bit of luck there. Unluck for Hellebuck to give the puck away and then luck to get it back, I guess.
Swerve and we'll call it even because...
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Lanky did have that kind of save, being in the right spot, because O'Connor kind of shot it into him. But I guarantee you give O'Connor that shot 100 times, he's scoring it at 99.
Yeah,
so
kind of shot towards Lankinen.
Yeah.
Swerve and Irvin pulling a classic Canucks fan and jumping to conclusions. Are we in for a Canucks Logic win tonight?
Well, I mean, before this game even started, Canucks Logic for this year said they were going to win, right? Like the way they played against Florida that one game and against Colorado, like they just have that way of playing up to those big teams. And this game was a really important game after what happened against Utah. And I think after you dissect what happened with the forward mashup, you clearly see tonight they needed to go back to a more balanced, we need lefties, righties, and whoever's in the middle's in the middle. And it's working. So let's just stick to it and keep pressing hard here. I really liked everything I saw in that first period from both teams.
Should be noted too that Quinn Hughes' next assist will bring up to 50 for the season because he's got his 49th of the season on the Brock Besser goal.
There you go. 2 points already tonight. Another multi-point game for one Quinn Hughes.
All right, let's see if we break the stream because we're about to try the new thing, everyone. I hope you all are ready for this here. Oh my God, it worked. So Sherwood's revenge. Dustin, I haven't set it up so you can see this yet, but you already know the tweet, so it's all right. Kiefer Sherwood getting interviewed with a fiery answer when asked about Dickinson. And I'll read the tweet out. It says, or I guess the interview, it says, it's back-to-back games and that guys are taking liberties on us. Dickinson is going to have to answer the bell next year because I know we don't play them again, but that was a dirty hit, unnecessary, 6-2, and he doesn't have whatever balls to step on the ice afterwards. Forboard asked him, it is what it is. We'll get him next year.
Yeah.
What do you think about that conversation?
You had that feeling, Chicago really went the tail between the legs route on that whole thing. I mean, it's kind of an embarrassing look on the entire organization and team when you won't send Dickinson out there to just deal with it right away, because he could have just gone out there, had a fight with somebody, and had it been over with. But instead, Connor Bedard gets mobbed by 5 Canucks.
Yeah.
And it's 5-on-2, and the other 3 Blackhawks are nowhere to be found. That kid is your future, and he already hates it there. You don't need to give him any more reasons to not want to play there. You cannot be doing that stuff. But anyways, beyond that, absolutely. I mean, that's the code, right? The unspoken, unwritten code of hockey is if you do something dirty, and the other team feels that it was not penalized appropriately, then you're going to have to pay for it in a different way, and that way is usually dropping the gloves. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we don't want any situations like we've had in the past with the Canucks. We won't say it out loud, but
Rod just
we
said
all
it out
know
loud
which
for you.
situation we're talking about.
Next game versus Chicago is going to be nuts. This is Bertuzzi Moore vibes. I don't think it's quite that intense, but yeah, he definitely, and
Yeah,
even you can go back, it's the opposite too. Like with McSorley, that was revenge too, right? And it was something stupid that happened, right? And so, we obviously don't want those kinds of issues to be occurring when we play Chicago next.
No, and anytime something like that is said, the league already has that game circled on the calendar next year, and there will be head referees at the game, and they will speak to both teams before the game and say, anything you do tonight needs to be within the confines of the rule book, and that's it. You cannot go overboard. A fight the fight or whatever, but I'm sure they will be warned that there will be extra suspensions given any egregious behavior in any of those games.
Sherwood hit number 2. Let's flip on over so you guys can see it too. Kiefer Sherwood, the search for the most hits in a season. So this, I love this. This is from X to the Y on Reddit. He did some digging, and the official record for most hits in the season is held by Jeremy Lauzon at 383. That happened just last season. The unofficial record, though, was a guy named Robert Selva from Florida in 2001-2002. He was said to have 386 hits. So the thing is right now, Kiefer Sherwood is sitting at 362, so he needs 25 to break the unofficial record, which is sitting just a little higher, which is 386. But either way, it's only a couple hits. What does that mean for a guy like Kiefer Sherwood to make that imprint on the record book?
I think it's great because it tells you what kind of style of hockey he plays. It comes with its pros and cons. Anytime you have a guy leading the league in hits, it means you don't have the puck very often when you're on the ice. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. It's great that we have someone out there playing that kind of hockey, but obviously, I would trade some of those hits for possession numbers. So it is nice to have that guy out there, but because he's been deployed in a top 6 role a lot this season, that means that we haven't had possession of the puck often. And so when those numbers are elevated, it makes more sense for a defenseman to have those types of numbers, right? Because you have guys coming in on the forecheck, bearing down or carrying the puck across the line, and you're just stepping up and hitting them more often than trying to poke the puck off the stick. Whereas when it's a forward, the nice thing about Sherwood is a lot of those hits are from forechecking when he's chasing the dump and chase. So also the style of play that the Canucks play helps elevate his numbers, given that every line that he's on usually dumps the puck into the corner and he's the first guy in throwing the big hit on the defender, trying to jam the puck free. So that's the benefit. And then obviously I covered the negative. So it's good things. He obviously prides himself on playing that kind of hockey, a physical style. That's what makes him valuable. And so he's not planning on slowing down anytime soon. And he will well set the record barring any knock on wood injuries.
I just want to address Matthew, the Nuckhead, Nuck Memes or Nucko will be joining us in the second intermission. Next topic, Tocchet talks Petey. So he joined the Halbro show, which we both are not fans of these days, talking about trying to change the way that Petey's playing. He mentions that they're trying to reprogram Petey's brain to play more of a North style. But the way it kind of sounded is like they're trying to just get him back to where he was before, moving his feet, driving the net, using his killer shot. When you hear those kinds of things, does it sound like they're on the right path with Petey? Like, is that good for him, or are they, what are your thoughts on talking about Petey that way?
For sure. I mean, if you look back to his rookie season, remember the first goal he scored, it was a north-south goal. I mean, there was no east-west in that game. And I think the way Tocchet phrased it was received a little bit poorly in the sense of, oh, he's trying to reprogram a 100-point player and you don't fix that. And it's like, well, no, this player has clearly lost some confidence. And I think Tocchet has a way of kind of phrasing things so that he doesn't really take any of the blame. But this was the closest thing we're going to get to Tocchet kind of saying, I have adjusted to. So they've worked on their relationship together and are trying to find a way to get Petey confident and going to the net more and driving to the net and shooting more instead of being more of a playmaker, because we all know he has a lethal shot. We know how accurate his shot is. And he is a triple threat. He's a defender. He can make plays when the play is there. When he has guys on his lines that know how to get to the right areas. We saw that in that third goal there. But then he also has the ability to shoot and be a shooter. And we just need more of that from him. And tonight he looks really on his game. And hopefully he can keep it going with Boeser and find some stride here towards the end of the season. And both those guys can really get going and prove a lot of fans and critics wrong.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it goes back to that when he finally came out and he just took full responsibility. He's like, listen, I know I have to be better. I'm working on it, but we're going to forget about what happened at the beginning of the season. We're going to move forward. And I mean, he's been shooting more. He's been driving the net more. And even that third goal Hoglander scored, they were all driving the net together. So that's exactly what they're talking about. Canucks ownership. Normally we would do the Abbey Canucks in this slot. No Abbey Canucks until Friday. And for this point, we're going to hang on to this. We're going to actually hang on to this all the way to the next game because I wanted to dig a little deeper into this Canucks ownership one.
Yep.
So yeah,
sounds good.
Enjoy the second and third period, Dusty, and we'll talk to you in the post game show.
You as well. We'll talk to everyone there and enjoy, chat.
Nothing is perfect.